who blessed you on your journey? Which individuals would you say were such a blessing? You would like to honor them in writing your story. You would like to mention them. That is something very good to include in your biography. Perhaps you found yourself in a dilemma. Perhaps you didn't know what to do in a particular situation, and somebody came literally out of nowhere, and they were so fundamental, they were so helpful. Perhaps you're at a certain point in your life and your children cannot understand why you're so close to someone and not the other person. Well, here you get to explain how they blessed you in your life in the past, right? How they enriched your life. Unfortunately, it's not always positive. There are also people who are a great disappointment. There are also people who or relationships with them presented a hurdle. And I think you can find a tactful way of describing that, describing the challenges and describing the lessons you've learned. And I like to say that it's one thing to write a story, but it's another thing to present the lessons. So in writing a story, I think it's important to describe, but it's also important to think about the reader. What can they take away from this? So let's not get lost in the detail of the negatives, the bad things that happened. We can certainly highlight them, but we want to say, this was something that disappointed me, but these are the lessons I learned. I think it was Nelson Mandela who said, I never lose, I either win or I learn. And I think it's so important when something would have been a negative, it's important for us to say, but this is what I learned from it, because I think we learn from successes and failures alike. And I dare to say we actually tend to learn more from failures. You know, you fall, but you get up. So again, remember in your story, put in the blessings, persons, places, and also the disappointments, the failures, and these make for very interesting reading. They make your story relatable, because I like to emphasize how your story can be a roadmap for somebody else. And as much as you want to share what actually transpired in your life up to a certain point, you want to keep the reader in mind. You want a reader to be able to say, well, this happened to them, but this is what I have learned. This is something I can take away and go to my own life's journey and do it differently and do it better. I'll see you in my next video. Hi, I'm Dr. Uche. I'm your friendly publisher, biography writing coach, book reviewer, a real life physician too. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit subscribe. That way you know when I upload new videos. Share with your family and friends. Follow me on this fascinating journey as I talk all about stories on this channel, children's book read aloud sessions, fiction from across the diaspora, and tips to help you on your journey to writing your biography. You take care, and I'll see you in my next video. So I like to think that all of us are a product of our experiences, including things you did that you feel good about having done and things you wish you had done differently. And when someone is looking at you from a different perspective, sort of looking into your life story up to a particular point, they might wonder about certain decisions you made. So writing your autobiography or your biography gives a unique opportunity, or rather affords one a unique opportunity to look back and say, this decision I made, I know it was controversial, but it really did work out in the long run. At the time I made this decision, I wasn't certain. It did cause a lot of strife in my family, but in retrospect, it was a good thing for me because of 1, 2, 3. So you really get a chance to explain away things that happened in the past. Now, mind you, one of the strengths or one of the great things about writing a story is you give somebody else an opportunity to learn from your journey, to not have to reinvent the wheel, right? Somebody can use your story as a roadmap. This is what you did here, and so I can actually try this because somebody did it and it worked. I remember reading Michelle Obama's Becoming and her recent book, I'm forgetting, The Light We Carry, and thinking, wow, I think I need to give my children more responsibility because I feel like I'm doing this and that for them, but they can actually do it for themselves. And I was amazed when I gave my 7-year-old responsibility to get up, get dressed for school. He did it like a champ. And I said to myself, why have I been stressing myself out trying to do all this every morning, right? But he's able to put himself together. He was able to, I set an alarm clock, it woke him up, he got dressed, and so on and so forth. So what I'm getting at is how somebody else's story can be a roadmap for somebody else. So do not underestimate the power in your story. Be sure to describe controversial aspects. Be sure to describe strengths, successes, mistakes. All those make for very interesting reading in your story. I'll see you in my next video.